Lorna Elaine Simmons' work on the Afro-Jamaican and internal marketing system during slavery. Again, we don't hear too much about the slave experience in the urban centers. That article indicates that slaves, as well as free people, were very much involved in the urban setting, in marketing crops, taking them to market, functioning within the towns, and particularly in Kingston at this time. Very often, that type of economic activity afforded slaves a period of freedom, even though they were enslaved, because of the nature of the activity that they were involved in, away from the strictures of plantation life, of being monitored all the time. There was freedom of movement within that context, and so it afforded them a level of freedom there. In addition, many of them used that opportunity to abscond from slavery for a period of time. And in that regard, that economic activity provided them with the opportunity to rebel in that sense by absconding for a period of time. Many of them returned, yes, but they used that time really to exert their freedom during that period of abscondment. With regard to the influence of slavery now, we come to two articles in particular, one by Maureen Warner Lewis. Title is The Character of African Jamaican Culture. And in that she looks at a range of themes or aspects of our culture that are derived from African influences as a result of enslaved people from Africa being brought to the country, to Jamaica. And we see that reflected in speech, in dress, in food, and various aspects in terms of how we organize our lives. And she deals a lot with that, and the fact that much of those influences have survived well into the 20th and 21st century. It can be hairstyles, it can be the pattern of tying headdresses, food preparation, for example, and as much as speech patterns have changed over time, there are still influences from the past. They're influenced by slavery. Anthony Harriot's Captured Shadows, Tongue-Tied Witnesses, Compellence and the Courts, Obeah and Social Control speaks about another aspect of our culture that is still very much a part of Jamaican life, derived again from enslaved people brought from Africa here. The fact that many Jamaicans continue to practice this medium as a way of social control to try and influence the courts. They also try to influence areas in their personal lives in terms of how they interact with people. They use that form to try and bring about circumstances in their favor. And he discusses the various ways and means in which they do so. You see them also utilizing Obeah within the courts, the formal court system. And there are very interesting examples of that provided in that article. I'd like to also turn to two articles that deal with the post-slavery period as well. One by Barry Higman, To Begin the World Again, Responses to Emancipation at Friendship and Greenwich Estate in Jamaica. That article speaks to the fact that the former enslaved sought to exert their freedom in a meaningful and fundamental way that really really challenged the owners and the managers of that estate, and the fact that they would not relent, because freedom meant something and it should be meaningful. It should not be just in name, but also in form. It should be demonstrated And that article really speaks to that. The final article that I'll refer to is one by Swithin Wilmot, From Bondage to Political Office, Blacks and Vestry Politics in Two Jamaican Parishes, Kingston and St. David, 1831 to 1865. St. David is now part of what we know as Parish of St. Andrew. And that article really brings home the fact that former enslaved were very much active in Jamaican politics in the immediate post-slavery period. There was always this view in the historiography that the former enslaved were not particularly interested in politics and did not really participate. It was only the free coloreds and whites in this period. But Wilmot has shown that their active involvement and the results of that active involvement were very much there. And he looks at these two parishes to demonstrate that. So overall, the book really reflects that theme that the UA Press has chosen. And please feel free to, have an in-depth look at these articles. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monteith, for your very informative presentation. And to our viewers, we thank you for logging on to the UWI Press Facebook page. Thank you.